Fall Guy is less of a movie and more of a financial wager that Universal decided to make in the wake of Barbie, in the wake of Ryan Gosling's big sort of hit at the Oscars. You know, he's the biggest star on the planet right now. He's the guy that combines good looks and comedy and acting chops in one. He's our movie star right now. And so Universal decided to spend $130 million on an action comedy starring him and the equally stratospheric in her popularity, Emily Blunt, who's also coming off of an Oscar-nominated role in Oppenheimer. And Universal unleashed a marketing campaign that was more of just sort of a barrage than it was a savvy 2024 marketing strategy. All up and down Lancashire Boulevard here and probably in your town as well. Fall Guy billboards for as far as the eye can see. And then they're doing stunts on the red carpet. They went all out for this thing. $130 million. For comparison, that's essentially the same budget as Godzilla Kong by comparison. Big franchise movie, tons of CGI. Fall Guy had an equivalent budget. But the thing that Hollywood never seems to realize, man, and they have and Universal's coming off their best year in 10 years. They're coming off of such goodwill, and then they do this. They put all their money into the Fall Guy. Because the thing they never seem to realize is that audiences are not as stupid as they think they are, and audiences can't just be just sort of bludgeoned into submission on things. And specifically, audiences often sort of sense what the game is leading up to a movie's release, right? And when you're getting blindsided by a massive marketing campaign like The Fall Guy, but you're not hearing at all about that movie on social media or from your friends, and there's not compare the lead up to The Fall Guy to the lead up to Challengers, right? The lead up to, I saw a couple billboards for Challengers, that fun little logo, but mostly, they were few and far between. But then you go on social media and it's all Zendaya getting kissed by the two boys. It's all, that thing had such viral marketing kind of power. And that's what gets people to go to the movies. The Fall Guy, though, you're getting bludgeoned over the head by the official marketing campaign, but then you're not hearing about it at all through the sort of back channels of social media and your friends. And so there's no grassroots to it. So look, I'm patting us on the back. It was not a big reach for us to predict that this was going to be a bomb. It had bomb written all over it. It had underperforming written all over it. But the thing is, it shouldn't have been a bomb because it still made, it's up to it's closing in on 30 domestic. It's closing in on 70 million total international right now. 70 million and I know it's not original because it's based on a TV show, but nobody knows the TV show. It's basically an original premise. It's not a franchise. An original action comedy already making 70 million internationally in its first weekend. This movie should have been a success. The big problem is that they spent $130 fucking million on it.
What did they buy?
It's unnecessary. I will tell you. Yeah. Because look, by comparison, that's like I said, that's the budget of Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla X Kong. Monkey Man, by comparison, was $10 million. $10 million.
Well, snaps for Monkey Man.
And looked so much better. So much better. As you're watching the Fall Guy, you immediately realize, even if I didn't know the budget, the first thing I'm picking up on is that this movie is spending money like crazy for no reason. There are virtuoso, the movie starts with a crazy he's doing the Touch of Evil shot. He does this uncut crazy fucking shot with 100 extras to start the movie, and it is wildly unnecessary. The all the bravado of the movie, which is what cost $130 million, does nothing to the effect of the movie. One thing they do that is so unnecessary and probably cost fucking $50 million of the $130 million budget is the movie within the movie is it's Dune meets Avengers Endgame. It's a big franchise comic booky kind of movie. They make that movie. There are scenes in The Fall Guy that are the movie within the movie, but it's not you're behind the scenes. It's you're seeing that movie. It's you're seeing, it's for no reason they made 20 minutes of Avengers Endgame to put in The Fall Guy that does nothing to the movie.
Would you rather have watched The Fall Guy or that movie in full?
Probably the other movie, just because it's a space western and it looks so bad.
What's it called? Do you remember?
Oh my god, I don't even remember.
Shit,
See,
sorry,
No, Joe.
Yeah.
This is the point. This is the point. I watched this movie. I was taking notes. I was watching this movie like academically, and I don't even know the name of the movie within the movie. It's called like Moonstalker or something like that.
Okay.
I don't. That's how like much it doesn't matter about the movie within the movie, and they spent, it must have been like 50 million on the CGI to make the movie within the movie. It is so unnecessary. It is money down the drain. It is money down the fucking drain. If they had been smarter, this movie would have been a smash success, and the Ryan Gosling fucking success rocket would still be in orbit and would not be sort of starting to teeter. And that's unfair, because the one thing I do want to say, the one thing that's good about this movie is that it does, if you're a Hollywood studio guy and you don't actually watch any movies, just look at the numbers, you're like, oh, Gosling's over, who's next? Fuck you. Gosling is a fucking movie star, and he is so good in this despite how bad the movie and the script and the action sequences are. Gosling literally, it's amazing to watch him work in this movie, because he you see him acting like around the script, because they give him these dumb exposition lines. They give him these dumb sort of like overcooked lines with his relationship with Emily Blunt. But then he will literally like take a monosyllabic line. He will take a line like "what" or "me" and add this like Ryan Gosling funny, sexy charisma to it.
He's so
and
cool,
it
man.
Fucking cooks.
Yeah.
So he like Ryan Gosling does he will like phone in the exposition paragraphs. He'll phone in the monologues, and then he will find his moments and take the smallest line that is so nothing and fucking make it fucking fire. Gosling is the truth. He's even good in an absolute stinker like the Fall Guy.
Oh, it's an absolute stinker.
I don't know.
It's just a stinker.
The limoncello starting to talk a little bit. It's not an absolute stinker, but here's what I was shocked by. Gosling's great, Blunt's great, the cast overall is great. The problem is the script is bad. What I was surprised by, because this is the director of John Wick, the director of Atomic Blonde, that movie with Charlize Theron that's really cool. Like, this is the director of like of Sleek. Yes, this is of like Sleek. David, I want to get his name right. David Leitch, who was a former stuntman, as he tells you in the opening of the movie. This movie, weirdly, for all its budget, has like clunky action sequences. You think from the trailer that the action sequences are gonna be the savior, like, oh, if I can just get to the action, I'll be fine. I'll be living. I'll be fucking chugging popcorn. It'll be great. The action sequences are sort of like dressed with bells and whistles and weird sort of set piece things, and then directed and edited kind of clunkily. So like the action sequences are weirdly, it almost feels like the money became a limitation on his abilities. Remember when Guy Ritchie said after Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, every studio was offering him $100 million budget to make a big franchise movie, and he told him, I wouldn't know what to do with $100 million. And he made Snatch for $10 million and was the best movie of his career. That is what made
$1 bajillion.
That's what I see David Lynch happening to him. Because again, this guy's got chops. John Wick, Atomic Blonde, good stuff, right? Nobody is like, has some great set pieces in it, some action pieces in it.
Weird.
But here, I literally think the money is getting in the way. Like, he has to spend the money, like he has to spend the budget. And so instead of relying on his own creativity and his own instincts, like Dev Patel and Monkey Man, oh fuck, I only have $10 million, I gotta get creative. He's like, well, I got $130 million, so I can just sort of let the money talk. You can't let the money talk, baby. The chops are what talk, and your chops aren't talking in this movie. The money is a problem. The money fucked the movie.